This is my NXT review, and I would say it was a fine show. 3 out of 5 show, like nothing special. I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the show was over. So maybe I missed some of the action that happened between the ad breaks because some action is showed in the Netflix feed of outside countries other than the US. I would say that the opening segment, like nothing that really bad happened, but it's just that even like I felt like things were fine that could have been better. Like the main event that happened, like the psychology of the match was a little bit off to me. That it's like, oh, did you not let him pin? Why did you not let me pin him? Like it's for the NXT Championship. It's a triple threat. I get you want to do like the friends not getting along with each other gimmick, but it's just that it doesn't make sense. Like, why are they so angry when they are interrupting pinfalls? And I think the match could have gotten another 5 minutes because before like the end sequence, I found the match very confusing, very boring also. But in the end, especially the chops and punches combo that Yoshiki was giving to Briggs, even Briggs hitting him with that clothesline. In the end, Oba just getting the better of Briggs and pinning him, and Briggs turning on Enamor after the match in a way not being the focal point. And Oba Femi has defended his title a lot of times, like since becoming champion. I think this is his seventh or eighth defense. And looking at this show, it looks like the next one is going to be Javon Evans because throughout the show you had Javon in the back like writing notes. Like it's very funny, like he's the young OG, like youngin, like he is a YN and everyone is trying to take advice from him. Like first Ricky Saints took advice, but it was like he said that you are Ricky Saints, you don't need to take my advice and everything. For Jasper Troy, then you had Yoshiki taking advice from him where he was like, where like he held him, people were smiling that, like am I doing wrong, but he actually gave him good advice like, no, you are doing, like you are wrestling by your own code, so there's nothing wrong in that, and you're not a bad friend, like you can still love a person and not like him, essentially husbands and wives. But that was his logic there, and in the end, at the end segment, which was like in the last 20-30 seconds, Undertaker showed up and he was like, you know what, Javon, you know what next you should do, like here, like what you're doing, like I'm just figuring out what to do next. You should go after the top dog in the yard. And they were like staring at the TV because Oba just won the match, and it makes perfect sense because Javon was in a feud with Oba before, but it was more of a triple threat feud. It went from Oba, Trick, and Eddie Thorpe to Oba, Trick, and Javon Evans eventually. And it looks like it's Oba and Javon at Heatwave, and I'm not mad with that. Like it makes it's just that I don't think they're gonna have Javon Evans win because I don't think that there is any plans for Oba to come to the main roster. I do think what this is probably setting up for is maybe during stand and deliver season, this is like kind of the start, like where Javon probably like gets his first lick in, he gets close but he loses, and then probably near stand and deliver season, Javon wins the NXT championship. Though I did feel it was probably going to be Jasper Troy, but he had a bad match with Ricky Saints. Like honestly, like just aside from the spot that happened in the end, like this match was like you could see like Jasper Troy works better with people who can actually like strong arm in the ring, like give him power moves and something, because you could see like in certain sequences, like especially like pushing someone through the ropes or through the ropes or into the ropes, like he got a little bit late on spots, but I'll give him the leeway, he's a young talent. In the end, what I didn't figure out, I figured out after I went on X because they cut from the footage. I think Jasper was supposed to put him through the stage. But what happened was, I think the stage was probably got loosened up too much, and like it just fell. And I think they improvised and Jasper gave him a senton, which was less impressive, but it got a reaction from the crowd. And in the end, Jasper won from a counter. So I think this is going to continue. This is probably going to continue till Heat Wave. This is probably going to be Ricky's feud. I think probably next match, whenever they have, maybe next to next week, probably Ricky will win by a roll up or something. Like they're trying to protect him here by having him lose in a count out, but I don't know. It just feels like he got beat up twice. Like he got beat up by Ethan Page and now he got beat up by Jasper Troy. But I think this feud is going to continue till Heat Wave. I thought that Jasper Troy, I thought that Javon will be going into the North American Championship picture because Ethan Page, he has had a feud with him. Jas- I'll, I do want to know what is the long term plan for the North American Championship, because you had a segment which showed that how talented Ethan Page actually is, because he has played, which I found out, he has played all roles as a heel. He has been a cocky heel champion, he has been a heel who loses all the time, he has been a psychopath against Javon Evans, and now he's the foreign heel gimmick. Like he is essentially doing that, like what, born in Canada, made in America, which was a killer line. Him essentially say him trashing Houston, Texas. Him saying that 17 Americans have held that title before me, but I'm gonna like take it to the highest stage, that because I'm Canadian and all. And the crowd was going wild. They was kind of voting him at the start, but then they were just like, shut the fuck up and everything, you're an asshole. Like they had to beep almost the whole segment, which I didn't really notice that much. And and I think like this is great. Like Ethan Page, earlier I thought he can perfectly take the miss spot on the main roster, but I think he can be a world champion. Like he has that like character work in him. He can go well in the ring also. Like he has the promo skills. He can easily be a world heavyweight champion in the future. Like he can be a top heel. Like I can see that happening for him. And I hope they handle him well when he goes to the main roster. And then Santino comes out and he says that whatever you said was bullshit, and that an Italy born, but I'm raising my family in Canada and we are not like this. He called him Ethan Page. And then he was about to hit the Cobra, but then he went out. Ethan, like in his most like most messed up voice, was trying to sing "Oh Canada," and he had a perfect comic face of Santino like interrupting him. And next week you're gonna get Ethan Page versus Santino Marella for the NXT North American Championship, which has a Canada strap because he unveiled it. And I think what's gonna happen, I think when I saw this, I was like, NXT books the weirdest things. Who would have ever thought like Ethan Page versus Santino Marella for the NXT North American Championship? Over that, Ethan Page is a Canadian who thinks that he is the best North American, Canada, Mexico, America, and Santino, who is an Italy born, who is in Canada, going up against Ethan Page on NXT television. Though I think this also works good for TNA also, because they are not feeding another talent. Like Santino really doesn't wrestle that much anyways, and that if he's the director of Authority, so even if he loses, I don't think it's anything bad. And even like Ethan Page can even win clean, or he can win by distraction or like tactics. I do want to know like what is next for the North American Championship. Like if Javon is going after the NXT Championship, like what who is going after the North American Championship? Like I do think they have a chance for something, like do something with the NQCC, like this breakup and everything, which can then put like maybe Tavion Heights against Ethan Page, like because you had Bully Ray after Ren had her match with Blake Monroe. Like first of all, no legend apart from Undertaker got a reaction. Like Candice Michelle showed up. I don't know why was she there. Like, not saying that she shouldn't be there. It's just like whatever she said to Fatal Influence, like any normal person could said that. Like it's like if I was in if in cave, I would be like, why are you telling me that? Where did you show up from? And why you're saying the most basic stuff to me? Like there was no reaction to Bully Ray, like Baba Ray Dudley showing up there, and he like hugged Ren Sinclair when everyone thought that he was gonna get angry that he had a great match. And what what was announced that next week Tavion is gonna face Dempsey, so they're doing the same stuff again, but they were talking like it's happening for the first time. And if Tavion wins, he's out. But if he loses, like he's gonna be in NQCC with a smile. And Miles Bone, like he has the Lexus King stuff, which I think is very funny because Lexus King is accusing him that just because he's hearing things because he's wearing noise cancelling headphones, that Miles Bone is not deaf. I think it's a fine enough feud for Miles Bone, and they have something on their hands with Miles, which they're trying to build up. So they're having him feud with Lexus King over all this stuff. I can see something with this going forward with like them being involved in the North American Championship picture, because aside from that, what do? You either add then both Jasper and Ricky Saints to the North American Championship picture, but then it's like you just had Ethan and Ricky have a proper feud. You don't want him to be there, and Ethan versus Jasper, heel versus heel, doesn't kind of make sense. I think the first segment was nice, them teasing more breakups of Fatal Influence, which I don't like, but it was essentially that JC saying that like I have achieved so much for being called the third wheel and also the most beatable champion. But then Lash Legend showed up and she was like, yeah, nobody thought that you'll be double champion. I eliminated Naya, I eliminated Neki, so I want a shot at the NXT championship. Then Jada showed up, she got a big pop also, and she was like, she had a bit of sass in her promo. She was like, I want the championship. You hear them and everything, like clock it. I can't remember the stuff that she said, but she was good. And in the end, like uh, JC said that Fatal Influence to go get them girls, and the way that Fallon Henley said that no chance kind of felt like that she was saying no chance that Lash Legend or Jada Parker can beat JC Jane. Not no chance that I will not attack them. Though it was explained on commentary that no chance was them disobeying JC Jane. So she should have said it in a different way then. And then they attacked, but then they were not able to attack them in a better way. I do think Lash is probably gonna win. Maybe they do a triple threat, but I do think Lash is gonna win because they have a feud between Jada and Thea Hall as well. So I do think Thea gets involved in there, and then you have Lash Legend facing JC Jane at the PLE. And backstage, you had Candice interrupting them, and it was essentially what Candice saying that she should face like Jasmine should face Jada, and Fallon Henley should be facing Lash Legend. But JC Jane was like, thanks for your advice, and she wanted the reverse to happen. But then Jasmine was like, of course I will face Jada because it's another baddie versus another baddie, and I kind of laughed at that because that was funny. So that was what was set up. Like I don't want Fatal Influence to break up. I don't think them three being alone is gonna do them anything better on the main roster. Like Fatal Influence can solve so many problems. Like what they wanted, Pure Fusion Collective to be kind of like the main heel women's stable. Like because you saw what happened at War Games last year. Like they had to like scramble heels and faces to have a match. You have that heel group, you have a proper heater group, you can set up like simple storylines, get people over, do stuff. I don't want Fatal Influence because also JC Jane alone, like she looks good, she has a great entrance, but in the ring she's a 3.5 wrestler. Even on the mic she's a 3.5. I don't think her being alone will do anything for her. Like apart, like out of all of them, only Fallon Henley is the only person that can go alone and be at the top. Jasmine Nix, what does she even do, man? She wasn't able to even get outside the ring in a proper way when I think Jada threw her out. Like she doesn't even, like, she gets proper hidden in this table because they know how much can she talk and how much can she wrestle. Apart from that, you had, Hank and Tank, Zaruka versus Culling in a tag match. It was a fun tag match. It was just like too much women on male violence. I don't mind that, like Rhea Ripley versus Tozawa, like women getting some punches, some moves in. But it was just like they were just attacking them and they were not doing anything in response. They were not even stopping them. And even Booker was going like, what is happening? And they were like, this is illegal. Where earlier they said this is not an intergender, it's a mixed tag. It was fun. In the end, a goofy little ending. I don't know, out of nowhere, the doll is in the ring with Tatum Paxley, and then it kind of like the doll summons Darkseid. They show up. I kind of like, because it was the theater and everything, the way Darkseid were. They the the short black guy had a wig on or something, and then it was like lights again opened and like Zarya was essentially dead, and Zarya hit a good F5 with kind of like F5 on the wrong side, and like they had good tag team moves as well. Hank and Tag, like they're doing the honk honk, boom. I only remember honk honk is like when looking at Stephanie McMahon's groups. And apart from that, uh, but what I got to know from Zarya, like that she stabbed her in the eye with the doll, so she won. I do think this is setting up maybe a Tatum versus Sol Ruka match at Heatwave. Maybe a singles or a triple threat match at Heatwave. I can see that happening. I think that heel turn is coming. It's not going to be that long, and I'm glad that they are moving on. One thing also, like that big like fat guy had like a good sell of them doing the clothesline and them him like just punching the air. Like, I'm glad Dark State are gonna face uh, Hank and Tank. I hope they win the titles. Like their momentum has kind of been like shafted a little bit. Like they were off TV for a lot of weeks. They went to TNA. Now they just lost at TNA. They were targeting them, but then they didn't. So I'm glad that they're having a match. They're feuding now. Hopefully, Dark State takes the tag team titles away from them too, because they're not really doing anything with Hank and Tank, and they do need to put more effort into the tag team division. Because even backstage, what you had was that Trick Williams was there with Wesley and his crew. I don't know why Wesley kind of is loving Trick Williams so much, and Javon was kind of like mocking him, and Wesley was like, "Don't mock my master." And you also had a segment after Trick got chokeslammed where all three champions, which I thought was like a big fuck you to TNA, but it was essentially them helping them get more like eyes that Trick being the TNA World Champion, JC being the TNA and NXT Women's Champion, her having the titles, like the NXT title towards Oba and the TNA Knockouts title towards Trick. And Trick like me mugging her, Oba like kind of checking her out, but also like laughing at Trick, which was weird, but it was fine. The thing is, I really liked the Undertaker and Trick segment. I did, because they went back and forth. Like Undertaker really talked, and he actually talked something which made sense. Like he was like, though he said some sus lines about you're too light in the asshole to go up against the OG. He was being too gangster in the promo. One, and also Undertaker didn't get that big of a pop when he made an entrance. I think they thought he would be the Phenom Taker because he had the tong at the start. But what Undertaker essentially said was that the Trick that I saw as NXT champion, like Undertaker talking about TNA is so wild. Though they are doing everything to give TNA exposure, it's just that they're doing with NXT wrestlers. That and then him saying that you just don't have that energy anymore, and that the downfall is going to be pretty quick. And then Trick was like, nah, 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 everything, I am this, I am that. And at the start he was kind of like mocking him, and then he went to hit him, but Undertaker hit him with a choke slam. And you had Trick doing the most wild sell, like he got like I like he got shot or something, which was where like he's huh, but it was very funny in the end. And like, what is next for Trick? Like, are they gonna have Santana defeat Trick at Heatwave, or they're gonna wait till Bound for Glory for Santana to win the title? Let's see what happens. We also had, Jordan Grace show up. I like this aggressive Jordan Grace because it comes so natural to her, because she does the her in the entrance, that she wanted to enter but she was banned from the ringside because she attacked like Robert Stone and everyone. And what happened was that she then uploaded a video on Insta showing that how she entered the arena, and Blake was like, "You idiot! Of course I would know that you would be there because he posted a video on Insta." And you had Blake Monroe making her in-ring debut against Ren Sinclair, and I wish that it had gotten 5 more minutes like the main event, because she showed her heel stuff, but maybe she could have shown more. Like, even like the like she hit her with the butterfly DDT, like essentially like Drew McIntyre's signature move. Like, she hit Jordan on the chair, like her head hit really hard. She sold it well, but it's like maybe I could have gotten a little bit more heel stuff, like more dastardly stuff. Not saying that to be like AEW level, you cannot have that, but maybe a little bit more. Her entrance was great. She, her in-ring gear was fine, and like she had like the narcissist thing, like the mirror, and then like cutting from the mirror to the entrance was great too. So I liked it. I like the direction that they're going in with. This is probably much better than what they're doing with the women's championship, which is not bad, but I do want to see what happens. Like, well, is Blake going to be the NXT Women's Champion? Like, is this feud with Jordan ending at Heatwave, or is this going forward? Because Shawn Michaels loves to do like a proper like 3 match feud, or is this ending at Heatwave, and then you have maybe uh, Blake Monroe go for the NXT Women's Championship? I do want to know what happens there. Let's see what happens. Overall, I will give this a 3 out of 5 show. Nothing bad, nothing special. There were things that were fine that they could have done better. There were some things that were just like bad, but overall, fine show. So, what did you think about this show? Tell me in the comments. If you like this review and if you like this type of content, like this video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts, which are my Twitter/X and my Instagram account, links are in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is sharpboy@okicici, is in the description, so go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for today. So thank you, goodbye, alvida.